We begin with a very special Manu log. Oh, yeah. You heard that.
Come on.
There was a whole lot of beautiful basketball being played in San Antonio last night, but not a ton of it was by the Spurs, who remained crippled by both injuries and the Warriors. Still, once again, with feeling, there was Manu Ginobili, cutting through the fog like a lightning bolt. Pop gave him the start as a sign of respect, but as usual, Manu earned his keep. At 39 years old, he scored 15, dished out 7. He forced both Steph Curry and Kevin Durant to cough up the ball. In the fourth quarter, he gave the Spurs one last push, his usual jumble of arms and elbows and legs as he finished with both his left hand and his right. And of course, one last 3 from that same spot we've seen him nail so many. When he finally left the floor, there were cheers, ovations. In a class move, Steph even held up a free throw attempt so Manu could get his due. Take a look.
One of the most unique and dynamic players this game has ever seen.
See, other players, they always knew how special Manu was, even though not once in his 15 years in San Antonio was his name first on the marquee. Some guys bully their way into our consciousness. Manu floated in from the first time we ever saw him warming up for his very first game. Even when he dunked the ball, he was this quicksilver river of creativity. When this one happened at Staples Center, even the Lakers fans cheered. And then, of course, the passing. You got to look at this one to Danny Green. Yeah. Let's be honest. When Manu did start, as you know to me, shaving his hair short, you would not have been shocked to discover he indeed did have eyes in the back of his head, right?
And one big eye.
Or there's this pass to Matt Bonner, pinpoint perfect, and never any fear from him. I mean, the man once grabbed a bat out of the air. There are not enough times in the world we can show that.
Who's that cringing for the kids? You saw it?
If Manu does in fact retire, the Spurs should just loop that bat play on the Jumbotron over and over again. And that's the big question, right? Will he retire? Should he retire? Manu said last night he's still debating, and that as deeply touched as he was by the fans' send-off, he didn't want to end his career just because, well, they'd given him such a warm send-off. Personally, I hope he doesn't. We focus so often on what should be the perfect ending for players. We forget that maybe the best ending is just that they get to keep playing up until the very last moment they can. There is space for that in this league. And if anyone has the vision to see it, it's Manu Ginobili. Now, Scottie, looking at you in terms of you played a long time, how did you know when it was time to finally say, okay, I can walk away, I feel complete now?
Well, I think your body starts to talk to you a little bit. Getting up, going to the shoot-around.
Ankle, little
getting up,
knees.
going to the practice. Yeah, you start to feel all those aches, but it's really about winning, too. I'm sure that Manu has been in a situation where he's accustomed to winning. And when you lose a series like what happened to them with Golden State, you get swept 4 games. You don't have Tim Duncan back there anymore. It's a little bit different. So, you know, as a player, you still enjoy playing the game. But it's the brutal beating and the travel and things that really takes you away from it.
What about you?
I agree. I mean, I know when I retired, you know, it was all about my body and the way I felt. And I knew I couldn't, you know, get back to that playing as hard as I tried to play every single night and with that competitive nature. And when you get to that point, like Scottie said, your body just knows it. You know, my workouts in the summer, I said, I can't do that. You know, I can't get ready like that anymore. And I just knew at that particular time it was time to just move on and start focusing in on other things.
I like all these young you guys, the hair from both of you
I
guys.
love that guy.
Hey, Amin, when did you know it was time to retire?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, playing pickup.
Yeah, exactly.
When I couldn't come explode off the pick as I used to. No, but the truth is 2 things. One is the hardest part towards the end is when they feel like, oh, today was a good day, and it was a good day. You say, oh, I'll just do everything I did today tomorrow, but then it leaves you again. And the other thing, though, is, as you said, there's a play. If the work isn't more than the joy that you get from playing, you keep playing, right? So Vince Carter is 40 years old. He still gets the joy out of the game that exceeds the training table visits and the travel, because they reach a point where like, I like playing, I don't like all the other stuff, right?
I mean, I worry sometimes that we push these guys out the door too quickly. Was there a point with either one of you where maybe a year after man, I should have stayed one more year?
Yeah, you think about it because your body starts to feel good again.
Right.
But then you realize, I got to practice. I got 82
Gotta travel.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you realize that you made the right decision.
Byron, traveling is easier now than it used to be for you.
Yeah, no kidding. Back in our day, it was
on the bus?
going to the airport, and you got
Right.
you got the first class, but you had to get up. It was on the, it was on their schedule. It
Yes.
wasn't necessarily your schedule, so it was a little bit different back then. And every now and then, like Scottie said, you feel good, and then that Advil kicks in. And you're like, yeah, I'm ready. And then it all of a sudden disappears. I can't do it. Can't do it anymore.
I mean, Michael Jordan has talked about how he has never stopped missing it. That it has never left him, that he's never reached that level of just sort of peace of not having that anymore. Are you guys like that, or you feel completely that you've been able to let it go?
I think you eventually get over it, but I think in Michael's situation, he took 2 years off.
Wait.
So he was able to find some rejuvenation.
Are you talking about when he wasn't playing, or are you talking about the actual years he was on the court for the Wizards? Because I was around for that.
I wasn't going there.
I'm kidding. He actually was one of the best players on the team at that point, and that
Don't
says
you dare.
more about the team than it does about him. But yes, you're right.
Yes.
He did take that time in between.
No, I mean, like Scottie said, I mean, everybody's a little bit different. I think about it all the time as far as how much I love the game. But do I miss everything it took to get ready for games? No, but I still love basketball.
Do you still
To this
dream
day,
you're
I
playing?
still love it.
Do you ever have dreams you're still playing?
No.
No.
There we go.
You know what, though? If we were smarter, we could have probably played longer.
Yeah.
You look
Yeah.
at the kids today and
You
the
don't know
coaches
what you
as
know.
well. And as Mean said, the analytics shows that players that don't play a lot of back-to-back
There you go.
careers
Right.
goes longer. So, yeah, but back then we weren't thinking about extending our career. You
We
just
think
play
about
for the
future.
moment.
That's right.
Yeah.